Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elevate. My name is Jessica.
My name is Darwin.
Welcome back to episode 66.
Wow, you remember.
So today we're going to talk about, I want to talk a little bit about privacy in relationships.
When it comes to what? Social media?
Everything.
Privacy from your parents?
How do you feel from your parents? No, I'm talking about like in a relationship, like between you and your wife and husband relationship, married relationships.
Well, privacy as in what? Like going through your phone or some shit?
Do you feel like you are entitled to privacy when you're married? I'm talking about marriage. I'm not talking about being girlfriend and boyfriend or like dating, because you're not entitled to anybody's phone or anything when you're in dating stages or your boyfriend and girlfriend. Let's just clear that up. But when you're married, do you feel like you're entitled to privacy?
I mean, yeah, but depends on like what type of privacy.
Okay, so what type of privacy are you entitled to? Wiping your butt?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you guys believe that this man has been married to me for a long time now, and I cannot see him wipe his
For real.
Like what?
She could watch me poop. She just can't. I
can't understand that, but okay.
I feel vulnerable in that moment. Just like that action of like being bent over. And
What? I could never.
I kick her ass out the bathroom every single time.
And every time I'm like, seriously? It's not that serious. Like, we've seen everything. Everything.
Only Kobe gets
I don't
that
understand that. But
privilege.
anyways, I respect it. Whatever I have to deal with, that's just, I don't know. But anyways, past that. Like, what exactly do you need privacy?
It's weird because like every relationship is different. So I don't think this is like a...
From your perspective.
All right, but let me talk.
No, from your perspective.
I don't have privacy.
But but this is what I'm saying. Like I recently heard someone who's married talking about like with another person how they needed, like they need their privacy. For example, their phone is private to their wife. And
From their wife.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that. Immediately is like, he might not, because I don't know it all, but he might not be hiding anything. But you just sound like you're guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, something.
But I guess I get it a little bit. Like, I mean, my phone is not private from you.
I know.
But like if, let's say my phone gets a text every single time and then you're like the first one to grab it, that'd be kind of like...
But I don't do that.
No, you don't. But what I'm saying is like some people might feel like, I mean, there are women that are extra.
Honestly, if you feel the need to do that, you already know something's going on.
Nah, because there's people, I don't want to just say women. I will say women and men. Like they might envy the relationship you have with like your best friend or something like, and always want to know like, hey, what are you talking about?
I think that's not healthy.
No, it's not healthy.
That's
I'm saying,
being controlling, and that's not normal.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not that, I'm not saying that it's healthy or that you should, but there are people like that they just want to know like who are you talking to right now? Like I want to see who's texting you or always on your phone. I mean, I feel like our shits are always open. Like if anybody texts. But it'll be weird. Like every time you get a text, I'll grab your phone, like who's texting you, or like read it.
For sure.
Yeah, or like if somebody texts me.
For sure. But in a healthy marriage, right? If you have a good relationship with the person you're married to, which you should because you're married to them. Like what?
Not realistic, but
you shouldn't have a good relationship to the person you're married to.
No, you should, but the majority of people
But that's
don't.
what I'm saying. Yeah. If you don't have that type of relationship with the person you're married to, who you chose to marry, you should look for help. You should fix it. You should figure it out. Because if you truly feel the need to have to block your person who you have seen everything intimately, who you, when you have a problem, that's the person you go to financially or any type of problem. That's the person who you go to because that's the person you're going through life with. And you telling me you're going to have this piece of electronic have so much value and so much privacy or intimacy in it that your significant other who goes through everything with you can't see it? Like, you just, I'm sorry, like, you sound, it's almost like, for me, I immediately think of a person having a double life.
Yeah.
Because if you have nothing to hide, it's the secrecy that makes it even more. And then your significant other starts to feel even more undervalued. They start to double think everything you do. You're putting them on edge.
So
so now they will automatically feel intrigued to wanting to know what you have in there because you have such secrecy around it.
So should couples be like logged into each other's social media account?
I think that when you have a healthy relationship and you don't have trust issues, you're not going to feel the need to have to do that. But we know men and women, we know when something's wrong. We know when the other person keep secrets away from us, and that's not a good thing. Again, talking about marriage. I'm not talking about simple girlfriend and boyfriend relationships. I'm talking about marriage. We know when something's up.
Yeah.
And so when you feel like I need to go through their phone or I need to be logged into their Instagram or whatever social account, there's something wrong. Because when you're at peace and the other person respects you in any setting, when they respect your opinion, when they value your opinion, when you understand that this person, you're special to them and they put you above, you know, friends, whatever, they give you your place, you don't feel the need to do that because you're at peace in the relationship.
That's true, but I guess it's just difficult for people that don't even have even like a solid foundation in their relationship, period. Like, for example, a couple that can't even communicate. It's like, now is like, oh, I want access to all your stuff. So it's like their base level of just like their marriage is already shaky. So I can see why a person like that would like want to be all up on top of, because they have no communication, period. So it's like, hey, I need to know everything that's going on within your phone, within your life, within your friends, because I'm not even secure in our ground level of our relationship.
Honestly, for me, if you're there, you're either with the wrong person or you should work it out if you really want to be with this person. You guys need to both come to common ground and understand what exactly is it that's making you feel like you're not secure in the relationship. Because that is not okay for you to feel that you have to go through this person's phone 24/7. And it's also not okay for you to think that you can keep secrets from your husband or wife.
Do you think that applies to like bank account? I feel like we touched on this topic before.
Yeah, everything. If you're married, you are becoming one.
But there's
if you're
people
not ready for, I mean, you don't have to agree to this. You don't have to be with one person. This is your choice. But if you decide to get married, right? Most women take marriage very seriously. I think that there are some men, or maybe there might be some women who don't take it that seriously too. But, you know, most of the time both parties should be taking it seriously. But if you go into a marriage, right, with the mindset that it's not a big deal, and then the other person is seeing it as a high commitment, you're doing that other person a disservice. Yeah. Because you're not truly ready to commit. So if you're not truly ready to commit and to be in this through thick and thin with this person for life, don't get married. It's that simple. Don't get married. Why would you block that person's blessing from finding someone who actually can be 100% committed and just be there half-ass? It makes no sense.
Or just keep working on your boyfriend-girlfriend relationship until you guys are ready to get married.
Yeah. But once you're married, that's it. You shouldn't be looking for anything. You shouldn't be seeing if the grass is greener on the other side. You shouldn't be. And honestly, I can almost guarantee you that men or women, whoever, you know, have this mentality of, you know, my phone is private, whatever, whatnot, they're flirting with another person, or they're sending inappropriate messages, or they're accepting it, or they're, you know, just engaging in inappropriate interactions with the opposite sex. I can almost guarantee you that. I don't know, there might be some people who maybe feel like, I don't know, there's some things I need to keep private, and that's not really what they're doing. But I can almost guarantee you they're not truly committed to the other person. Because when you are fully committed to the other person and there's no doubt within yourself that you want to be with this person, you won't have a problem with that.
It's also stressful.
What's
like
stressful?
I don't know, to always be like chasing your phone. Like, damn, I can't go to the bathroom without my phone, or like if I leave my phone at home, like I gotta turn around and go back home. Because
how would you, I don't understand how people live like this, just with that's not having peace.
Like fear,
Yeah, that's not having peace in a relationship.
I don't want peace, I want problem.
That's not having peace. That's, you know, just always having this conflict, and, you know, I don't understand it. If this is not the person you believe you should be with and you should be 100% loyal to, at least be honest about it. At least be honest. Like, that's the least you could do, and then let the other person decide whether they want to deal with your BS.
Or like I said, like, don't get mad. I feel like marriage right now is, for some people, is kind of like just for the experience. They're just like, oh, I want to be married.
Or they want to go through or they want to just have a wedding, you know. That's such a serious.
That's probably why the divorce rate is so high. Because I mean, I understand maybe if you're like at older age, but like to just meet somebody and like get married within like the first year, which there's people that do. That's like a little crazy.
It is, but, you know, I guess depending.
Like, if you haven't even lived together, like if you live on a dating on the weekend type of thing, like, I meet you after work, because that's like very like honeymoon. Yeah. Not even honeymoon because you're not married.
I honestly think, I don't know, maybe some people might feel differently and might think that that's kind of crossing a boundary, but I don't think I would be able to marry someone, especially through church. And it's kind of contradictory because through church, you're not supposed to be living with no one until you're married. But deep down in my heart, I feel like I can't commit to you if I don't even know you intimately. You know, I don't know your deepest secrets. You know, I don't know how you are living with you. It's very easy to be with someone, just date them and not have to go home with them. It's a different story when you're going home to them every day. You get to know them on a very, very deep level. So that's why it's a little scary for me, like the thought of committing to someone that you've never lived with.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, you can move out and, man, fuck them rules. It's like, I will say, move out, live with that person a year to 2 years, just see how things go, and then maybe step into the commitment of marriage.
But then you have this is the problem, which I understand why sometimes you have to get, especially for us women, I'm going to talk from a women perspective, because we have a lot more to lose, in my opinion, most of the times, than men, unless they're like rich or something, you know, or on that, you know, but regular people. Let's say you move in with this person and you've been this woman who's been taking care of your body. You feel like your body is a temple. Your body is sacred. And you really feel like you're in love with this person, and maybe not many people have touched your body, or maybe none have. Maybe you are a virgin and you move in with this person, you give them your all, and then they bounce. You know, like,
I mean, but that's better than freaking getting married, moving in, and then
True.
the shit getting divorced.
But I
Because at the end of the
understand
day,
where-
you're still sinning. So like you're sinning if you move in before, and you're also sinning if you divorce, because you're not supposed to divorce once you marry. So like
It's very difficult.
choose your sin.
Right?
I choose the first one.
But then what I'm saying is I understand then why sometimes people want this man to commit. Like they want some type of proof that you're committed to being with me, that you're committed to going through life with me, and I'm just not a game for you.
I mean, I guess engagement.
Yeah.
You can still back out from
Yeah.
it, but an engagement is more of a commitment. Like, okay, this is for real.
I feel like there's many ways to know as well. You know, like I've said before, many times, whether men or women, you can see red flags very early on, and we choose to ignore them a lot of the times because we're so like infatuated with like the person, you know, and just having those butterflies in the first, you know, weeks, months of years of being with a person can be very exciting. So you kind of choose to ignore it because, you know, it's tedious to have to go through the process again of dating and finding someone. And then you start thinking that you're not going to find someone for you, or that you're not good enough to find someone, or that you're not going to find the person you truly are looking for. So like, I get it, but we cannot ignore when you're in the dating phase, you have to dig deep. Like, don't be afraid to
communication
ask
too.
the important questions. Don't be afraid to have the tough conversations, such as, do you want kids? How many kids do you want to have? If you clearly see that the other person is not on the same page with you, especially with having children, that's a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag. I don't think that is going to get better. Like, yeah, you never know. Maybe the person's mind changes in a couple years, but it might not. Yeah. And you knew that this person didn't want to have as many kids or any kids as you want to have, and you chose to just ignore it, thinking, oh, I'm going to change him. You know, maybe with time, he's going to fall more in love with me, and then he's going to change his mind. No.
He or she.
Right. Like, it doesn't necessarily happen that way. Like, it might. I'm not saying it's not possible, but for you to think that you have the power to change that person's mind, especially with those very important topics, it's very delusional. Like, don't do it to yourself. You're really setting yourself up for failure. But yeah, that's a whole different conversation. So yeah,
but, I mean, it is conversations though that you need to have, because
there's
it could get rough fast.
In relationships, you, especially once you're, you know, a lot older, you know, in your late 20s, early 30s, don't be afraid to have important conversations, important money conversations, important goal conversations. Like, where do you see yourself in the future? Like, are you a minimalist, or do you want to have like the most? Like, you need to know where the other person stands to know if you're even a bit compatible. Like, it is important. Do you see me as a housewife, or do you want me to work with you? Yeah. Like, are you going to accept if I want all of a sudden feel like, you know what, I want to be home with my kids? And are you going to accept to be a full-on provider for my family? Or are you going to be the man who can't stand me sitting on my ass because you feel like raising kids isn't enough work for you? Yeah. You know, like, you need to have these conversations with the person so you know if you can stand them for the long term.
Yeah.
But back to the conversation of privacy, for me, there's no space for privacy once you're married. Like, it's not acceptable for me.
But you could have alone time.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about privacy in terms of keeping secrets. Yeah. Or, you know, making the other person feel like, oh, no, you can have this part of me, but you can't have this part of me. Like, if you have a phone and you have a code on it and your wife isn't allowed to have that code because your phone is private, there's part of you that you're not sharing with her.
Yeah.
It's like, you can have this part of me, but you can have this part of my life, but you can't have that part of my life. And at that point, it's like, what's the point of being married?
Agreed.
All right. So I think that's it for today's podcast.
It's a quick one.
Just a quick reminder that if you're not ready for marriage, don't get into one. It's not, nobody is pointing a gun on your head. It's not something that you must do. If you're not ready for marriage, don't put anyone through that. If you're not ready for commitment, don't put anyone through that. Don't be selfish and try to hold on to that person when you're not ready to fully commit. It's selfish. It's not fair. And once you have kids, you get into a bigger mess, and you bring people on that don't deserve to be in that situation. And it just becomes one big mess. So don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to others.
And think about yourself first before you start listening to people like, hey, you should get married before moving in together. Like, bro, do what's best for you.
Yes. Do what's best for you and for that other person. Think about the future. If you're not ready to commit, just be honest. There's women who don't care. Yeah. Like, there's women who are not ready, just like you. Just be sure that you're with the right person and that you're not, selling, villas y castillas, to this other woman or man, selling something,
castles and villas.
Yeah, like, don't sell them a fairy tale. Okay. Don't make it seem like, yeah, I'm ready for commitment because you want them to be happy in that moment, and deep down inside, you're not ready. I think you do yourself a disservice, and I feel like women or men would appreciate it a lot more if you're just honest with them and tell them how you're really feeling. And you might be with someone who isn't as ready as you are, and you might decide that, you know what, hey, I don't want marriage. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to be in a relationship, see where it takes us. But at least you guys are both on the same page. And say, hey, I'm not ready to fully commit to you. There's some things I want to keep private, but be honest. It's all about being honest and transparent. And you can just avoid so many problems by just being honest and open. So, yeah, that's it for today's podcast, you guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening. If you're here on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on this topic. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can be notified every time we post a video. And if you are on any of our audio platforms, don't forget to leave us your reviews. It really helps us out. That's it for today's podcast, you guys. Thank you so much for listening or watching. Until next time.
Peace.